Hello and welcome to OZChris vs. DC Comics Annual Edition. We've got reviews of the Green Lantern Annual Number 1 and Justice League Dark Annual Number 1. So starting off with Green Lantern, the series that actually hasn't been out for a year yet, so it only gets an annual because they had a 5-week month with July, pretty much. They're here among us, a menace from beyond the beyond. Who are they? What do they want? How can anyone stop them? The Wireless Ones. So, written by Grant Morrison, the art by great name butchering time, everybody. Giuseppe Camuncoli, finishes by Trevor Scott. I'm going to say Inca, yep, and coloring by Steve Orliff. The cover by Gula March with Alex Sinclair. So, Hal and a few other members of his family find themselves trapped. Their entire house is trapped on a different world, and they find this alien called which is named Zipters, who is on the run from the Wireless Ones. So they decide to defend it from the Wireless Ones, which are just beings similar to it, from the same race. Hal, as the Green Lantern, is able to disrupt their frequency to defeat them, but not really, but he gets some help from Airwave, his cousin, who's also a superhero. Never heard of him, must be a very low tier hero. So it's good that you don't always Morrison doesn't have to rely on the most obvious superheroes to help him. Bring back some of the classics, some of the low tier, some of the obscure. I have no idea who Airwave was before now, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it. So they're able to defeat the Wireless Ones, but Zipters is not completely innocent, and he takes control of Airwave and various other people through their phones, given that he's a frequency, electricity-based creature, able to take control of them. But in the end, Hal and then later on Airwave are able to free everyone and save the day, return everyone back to everyone back to Earth, and everyone back to normal. So story, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Above average, almost good. It was an okay story overall. Nice, simple, short story, not necessary, not part of the big story that Morrison has in the Green Lantern. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Really like the art and coloring in this, pretty good. And the cover, I'm going to give a 4.5 out of 5. Good art, great art, great coloring on the cover. So on to Justice League Dark Annual Number 1, which I think actually has been out for a year. It started, I think, June, July, so this actually, at least warrants an annual and fits the actual term annual. So, Acarius Bloom, written by James Tynion IV and Ram V. Art by Gula March, the coloring by Arif Priento, the cover by Riley Rosmo and Ivan Placencia. So, after the events with the Lords of Order, so this takes place after the events of July's issue, this month's issue. Constantine wants to help Swamp Thing deal with the situation with the Parliament of Flowers, which have replaced the Parliament of Greens, which all the way back in before the Witching Hour and all that, aftermath of No Justice and all that. So Swamp Thing goes off to find the avatar for the Parliament of Flowers, the avatar of the Flowers, who is this man named Oleander Sorrell. His wife, he's had a troubled life. He's lost his son. His wife's decided to leave him out of guilt and all that, to deal with the grief in her own way, and Oleander. I'm sorry, that's a weird name. Oleander is caught up in a fire, and when he awakens as the new avatar of the Flowers, and he's greeted by Swamp Thing, who wants to help him, but Oleander all he can care about, all he can think about is what happened to him and his wife. So he goes to see her, but there he is met by another former avatar of the Green, Jason Woodrue, the Floronic Man, who wants to help the avatar of the flowers in his own way. So what he does is he has him create humans out of flowers and different kinds of plants, and Swamp Thing realizes the actual truth about what happened to Oleander, how he ended up becoming the avatar of the flowers, and he discovers that Jason is manipulating him. So we'll leave it there. Don't want to get into a little spoilers. And towards the end, it does kind of help connect and set up with Injustice League Dark, with Cirque, the whole Year of the Villain, the Office stuff. So, story, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think this is a really, really good story. Even just simply by itself, it's a good story. And it's a good epilogue to what happened with the Lords of Order, all that stuff, and then also tying into Cirque and Year of the Villain, the Offer, what she's going to do with the Injustice League Dark and all of that. Really good issue, really good story. I really enjoyed this story. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really like the art and coloring on this. Honestly, I think Jason Fabok would be my first choice for a Swamp Thing's artist, given that he did the art for that Swamp Thing Winter Special with Tom King, and that was a really great story, and the art in that was amazing and beautiful for that. But Arif Priento and who did the coloring, and Gulam March who did the art, I would like to see them do a Swamp Thing series with this art as well. I think the art and coloring on this was really good, great art and coloring. The cover, on the other hand, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It was an average looking cover. I like the cover. I like the colors. The art, I'm not a big fan of Rosmo's art. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of his art style, sorry. It's not particularly good in my opinion. But that is it for this annual edition of OZChris versus DC Comics. Not even this OZChris versus DC Comics is a year long, and I'm calling it an annual edition. Thanks a lot, DC. But that is all for these reviews. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That'll be good. I appreciate that. And I will see you all next time.